expected. This crowd ready to make its presence known. Keeping it on the ground with the single back. Tackle is made at the 28 after a pickup of 3.
Man, it's really hard to control the running game if you don't control the line of scrimmage. And how about the defensive line doing a great job attacking those guys up front, not open up lanes to run through. Nice job just nullifying that run altogether.
This crowd, full throat, splitting the eardrums and letting them know it's going to be a long day. Looking downfield, it's Russell. That's caught. It's Miller. Just broke the tackle and still on his feet. Out across the 40 and forced out of bounds at the 42. And now this offense is clicking. This offense will snap it from the 42 on 1st and 10. Looking downfield on 1st down. Buys a little time. He'll pull it down. He gets it into plus territory. He's out of bounds at the 48.
Man, this defense has their hands full today because not only do they have to worry about the running backs and not only do they have to worry about the passing game, they've got to worry about this quarterback running the football because of plays like that. Not a huge explosive play, but he showed you the athleticism and he showed you he has the ability to hurt you with his legs.
Power football with the run. There to stop him at the 43, but he gets 5 and moves the sticks. If you're going to play Bama tough, you're going to find out really early if you can handle the running game.
They're going to check your chin. I mean, they're going to come in and they're going to give you a steady diet of it. Even when they've had great quarterback play and spread the ball out, it's still a physical principle. They're going to make you stop the run. If you can't stop it, it could be a long game.
Well, the tight end's a guy that's going to have to be able to make plays for this offense in the passing game. That time, QB looking for the big fella. He ran a good route, just couldn't reel it in.
Well, will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? Off play action. And the pass is incomplete thanks to a big hit.
And the big tight end, a lot of times that's a bigger strike zone, a bigger dude, and you could tell they put the hit on him, and that ball came out, and it came to the turf. Nice job playing physical by this defense.
The 12th man more than standing at the ready. They are bringing the heat on 3rd down. Making side adjustments here. Back to throw, it's Mack. Here comes the heat. Quarterback feeling that pressure, and he's knocked down at the 42.
Pretty nice as a defense, right? When you can go nickel, put 5 DBs on the field and not have to blitz anyone, trusting your front 4 to get the job done on 3rd down, and they do it right there, getting the sack.
Working his way on the return up to the 40-yard line before he stopped.
These specialists and these return specialists, they got speed for days. But you better hang on to the football. I know you want to make big plays. Those splash plays, they can change games. But you better secure the football first.
Looking to throw on 1st down. Quickly to the tight end.
Nice quick throw there. It's so important for quarterbacks to be able to find a rhythm and to be comfortable and confident. You want to just get the ball out quickly, make it an accurate and easy throw. And you can tell that these two guys, they rep that play in practice all the time, and it's now showing up here on the end.
The Aggies can really attack on this 2nd and short. Handoff from the gun. And the defense makes the stop after a minimal gain.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
And the Aggies come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to keep the drive alive. They'll try to get it through the air. Fires to the middle. Oh, what a play. It's intercepted. Just a short return, but that would have been icing on the cake. They've got it first down at the 42.
A lot of quarterbacks have so much confidence that they can fit the ball in tight windows. How about the defensive player right here making an unbelievable interception, forcing the turnover, big play, big momentum swing.
Caught in the backfield, it's Lewis. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5. You know, we joke that the tight end's always open, David, but play action almost makes it impossible to keep them coming.
And yeah, because those guys, they're such good blockers most of the time. They're big and physical, and they sell block for a second, and then they run open and they find holes in zones, and they get good matchups. And man, those tight ends nowadays are nightmares for defenses to trust.
Alabama comes to the line on 3rd and short. Trying play action. Flushed out of the pocket. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down.
Defense did a great job. 3rd and short on the opponent's side of the field. They're expecting quick throw. Everybody, they dug their heel on the ground. They're able to break on the ball, force the incompletion.
They're a couple of yards short of the first down, but the offense will stay out there on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. That's caught. It's Williams. He steps out of bounds, but it will be enough for a first down.
You got to have better tackling in the back end on defense. The guy didn't have the first once he had the ball in his hand, but because you missed the tackle, they've now got a fresh set of downs.
Alabama with a 1st and 10 here. Back to throw. It's Mack. The screen, and watch out. And he'll step out of bounds after a very productive play.
This slot receiver gives defensive coordinators nightmares. You have got to double him virtually on every pass play. He better have safety help over top. Otherwise, this guy's a threat to score every time they throw the ball.
He's going to fire to the left. And that's going to be incomplete. Going for broke on 2nd down, but 3rd down's coming up.
And how nice is it to have the home crowd going absolutely bananas? Communication is harder. With the snapping the football, everybody being on time, man, this crowd really affecting the football game.
The screen, he's got wheels. He did not make it a stone wall on 3rd down. They were banking on the yards after the catch, but that went into the negative column.
And I'm banking on the ball coming out quick. When I'm a defense and understanding 3rd and short, understand they're going to throw the ball really quickly, try to make a play. The defense knew it, broke on the football, made a nice tackle to force a 4th down.
On 4th down, trying to find his man. Caught near the sticks. It's Williams.
Wow, and that was just a bang-bang play. On that 4th down, the coverage was tight. QB had his receiver. He knew where he wanted to go with it, but the only way that ball gets completed is if he puts a little extra mustard on it, and he shows you the arm talent on the throw.
Oh, he's got some space. Stopped and forced out of bounds at the 21-yard line, just outside the red zone, and they are looking to get one in here. From the 22 on 1st and 10. Wants to throw on 1st down. Pressure coming. Trying to get rid of it. Just gets rid of the football. Nobody to throw it to. It'll be 2nd down.
And these coaches have these play sheets over there on the sidelines, and there's so many calls they want to call, and they want to make explosive plays. But you got to protect your QB, and he's already been sacked. Now he's hit again.
Touchdown, Crimson Tide. Haul that baby in and then stroll into the end zone for the score. So much about the passing game is about timing, execution, communication, and these two, that's a virtual textbook there.
And no doubt about it. And the receiver making plays for his quarterback, being dependable, running the route to the right depth consistently, does a great job running his route. Great result because of it.
And the PAT makes it 7-0. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. He'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. They'll put this one in play first snap of the drive from the 25. They think there's room to run to the right here. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
It's hard to run on a defense that comes off the ball like that and runs to the football like that. Good luck. No holes anywhere.
Unleashes one. Just too much mustard on that one. Can't miss the target that badly.
I love the decision by the quarterback. He found the open man, just don't love the throw. Got to be a little bit more accurate, make it easier on your target.
They come to the line facing 3rd and long from the 25. Looking downfield, it's Reed. A little too much on that one, just out of his reach.
Yeah, just not able to connect that time with his target on the in-breaking route. Got to have a little bit better rhythm. You know these windows are going to be small over the middle of the field, and that's why you try to put some extra mustard on it, but I think that time that's what forced the incomplete.
Texas A&M will have to boot it away. Getting our first look of the afternoon at the punter. He'll field the punt and try to make a big play. He did a great job finding some running room on that return and was able to set up the offense with good field position. They'll try to put a drive together starting from the 36. Touch pass on the run. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one. Heading in the opposite directions now as we crank it up in the second. They'll run play action. On the move to his left. Incomplete. He had to get rid of it before he wanted to. The defense put the heat on.
Man, if I'm the offensive line, I got to do a better job initially protecting my quarterback. And then once he scrambles out that pocket, he starts to go to the left, I got to stick with the play because then he gets whacked at the end of the play. And instead of helping my quarterback up, I got to make sure I protect him a lot better moving forward.
The sweet feet keeping the play alive. Another incompletion on 3rd down.
Well, the defense is waking up now, right? The first drive, they allowed a touchdown. They were a bit scrambled. They kind of all got together, rallied on the sideline. They've been pretty lights out since. Forced a punt on the last possession. They've now got the offense set up in 4th down again. Great job there. Pass defense, 3rd down. This defense now starting to put it together.
They'll start this drive at the 33-yard line. Dropping back, it's Reed. Fires to the big fella. At midfield, he's got room. He gets it inside the 30 and out of bounds at the 29, and they are rolling. Finally, this offense starting to show a little juice. They've got a 1st and 10. The give to the back. Finds a crease at the 20. And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Aggie. That was a lightning-fast drive that ends with a touchdown.
If you can string a few more drives like that together, man, we might as well get our popcorn out because we're going to get a lot of scoring.
Setting up for the extra point and the top. And they tacked on the extra point. Only took 2 plays to find the end zone on that drive, and gashing them on the touchdown run finished it off. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. Fielded in the end zone, it's Williams. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. This drive will open from the 15. Looking to throw on first down. Grabbed over the middle. It's Miller. Didn't pick up a lot there. Moved it forward just a few.
Yeah, and you see running backs in today's football, they play a wide receiver basically for you, but you got to find a guy that you can throw it to, and you know he's going to catch the ball consistently.
Here comes the offense on second down. Quick completion to the right. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
I don't know if that's the coverage you want to be throwing wide receiver screens against. Oftentimes you want the receivers to have some access. You want the DBs to be off a couple of yards so you can help set up the blocks and give the receiver somewhere to go with it. It's hard to run that against press coverage, and they only picked up a few yards there.
Going to try to get it himself. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks.
Well, just nowhere to go there, and it started in the pocket. It was collapsing. Quarterback felt it, so he tried to get outside, make something happen himself, but give the defense tons of credit. Excellent job in pursuit. They're able to give up no gain.
A couple of yards short of the first down in your own territory, but they are going to go for it on fourth. He makes a grab past the marker. Well, they just drained all the suspense out of the fourth down conversion, moving the chains easily.
And they're showing you their intentions early in the game. It's fourth down, you're in your own end. We're going to be aggressive, and we're not just going to do this early. We're going to do this all game long. Awesome execution on a critical down.
It's incomplete, and trust me, you will not see that very often from this guy. It's second down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. From the gun, he leaves it with the back. Gets it past the first down marker and still running. All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
Really nice run there. Now, listen, modern-day college football, I know it's all about spread offense and throwing the football and going up tempo and scoring quickly, but, man, you think back to Bear Bryant in Alabama, doesn't it always seem like they've always wanted to establish the run game? They have always wanted to be physical. Bear Bryant would have loved this guy in his backfield. With his physical style of running, man, he fits that just perfect.
The Crimson Tide rolled to that last first down on the ground. Let's see if they go right back to the run. Makes the grab. It's Miller. Gets it inside the 10. Out of bounds at the 9 after the big pickup on that one. You can hand it to him. You can throw it to him. Either way, he's making his presence felt.
Those are your favorite plays, Reese, the him plays, right? Finding ways to get him the ball because he can make plays, whether it's running or receiving out of the backfield. They're going to continue to highlight this guy.
Going to work in the red zone. They can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. Leaves it with the back. Boy, they'd love to move the sticks here and take a shot at it on first and goal. Now the play fake. Steps away to find some room. Touchdown Tide! Fired in from the red zone for the score.
You get down here on this part of the field, and the field shrinks so much you play.
And let's hold on just a minute here as the officials are going to have a second look. After taking another look just to confirm everything, the officials on the field got it right. Play will stand. And the PAT gives them a 14-7 lead. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. And it'll will be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. They go to the ground. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
If you're going to stop the run game, you better be physical up front on the defensive line. They've got some maulers. They've got some dudes with bad intentions. Nice play there.
They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. To the air, it's Reed. Unloads to the wideout. He just missed the target on that one. Got to put it on his body.
And he finally missed one, right? I mean, he's been pretty hot, right? 5 passes in a row. He's been moving the ball around, different platforms, different receivers. Just done a really good job spreading the ball around, and he's human. He finally missed.
Probably the toughest call on the play sheet. 3rd and long. Ball's at the 25. From the gun, wants to pass. Makes the catch. It's Bussey. Nice job to get him past the sticks, and they get him down at the 35.
Yeah, and you've seen these curl routes. This is a timing route. Understanding the ball's got to come out of my hand right when he hits the top of that curl. Nice job by the QB finding him. Nice catch.
A&M comes back out with another 1st down. To the air on 1st down. He hurls one deep down the left side. Catch and stride inside the 15. The stop is made, but this offense is threatening. 1st and goal from the 9.
I love when you back the defense off of you. If you want to get aggressive, I'll take shots down the field, make the defense play more conservative, and now what? Now you're in the red zone with a chance to get some points.
And this offense has a chance to pull even as we get deep in the 1st half. Defense trying to hold on to the lead. Touch pass on the jet sweep. That touch pass went nowhere. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
A nice job by the defense with the edges. They try the touch pass on 1st and goal. Nice job setting the edge, not letting him get outside, making the good tackle, forced the 2nd down and goal.
Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. He'll run it to the middle, looking for the end zone. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. Timeout called here by the defense. It's their 1st of the half. Now 3rd and goal, and tough yardage to cover here. Dropping back, it's Reed. Floats it out in space. And he'll be brought down.
Nice job by the defense there. They knew coming into this one, this running back was dangerous catching the football. So really good job getting him down on the ground, now setting up 4th and goal.
The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. And on 4th down, they'll try to salvage the drive with a field goal. He'll boot it from the left side, and from this distance, that angle ought to be fairly easy. It is true as he puts 3 on the board. That'll bring him to within 4. So they put the field goal on the board and about to kick it away, and hoping that'll be the final points of this 1st half. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. Got his man. He'll be forced out of bounds. They'll mark him down at the 44-yard line, and this offense has it going. You open a drive like that, and the entire playbook opens up on first down from the 44. He's going to throw deep right side. He's got it. He gets it in. Touchdown, Alabama!
And they trust their QB to execute like they have the whole first half, and he delivers, and they build on this lead and build their momentum going into halftime.
On to attempt the try. And the extra point is good, and they have an 11-point lead. So they got the touchdown, now going to put it in the hands of their defense to finish off this half. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. This late in the half, here's the question. How aggressive will the play calling be? Back to pass, it's Reed. He lost it high and deep down the left side. He's got it along the sideline. Touchdown, Aggie! And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing.
And that was a really big score here at the end of the first half, just for their confidence and their momentum. They're obviously still losing right now on the scoreboard, but you had the feeling something positive had to happen here at the end of the first half for them to go in at halftime, regroup, and come out in the second half now trying to build on that successful drive offensively.
The ball squirts through the end zone. That'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. Starts a drive trying to go up top. The short hands, it's Bernard. The offense burns its third and final timeout of the half.
I think really good wide receivers do a good job of making every route kind of look the same. You could tell this looked like a vertical route. So if I'm a DB, I'm bailing, and all of a sudden he sits that hitch down. Nice job by the wide receiver, create enough separation to create a positive game.
Running out of time here in the first half, they're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. On third and long, trying to have a big completion here. Pass falls incomplete, and there are still 3 seconds left.
Well, the offense is doing their best to try and at least get into field goal range here at the end of the first half. So they take a vertical shot down the field, but give the defense credit. Lots of eyes back there on the quarterback. They're able to break on the ball and make sure that throw falls incomplete.
Fires to the wideout. Pass is incomplete, and that's going to do it for the first half. So the first half has come to a close. We'll take a break and head over to the halftime show. Ready to start the second half. Alabama will kick it off. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Going to the run to start this second half. Not much doing there. He gets it to the 26, a gain of 1.
And a lot of times you want those big plays. You want those splash plays, but sometimes you're going to take some losses. You're not going to run the football overly well, but if you continue to run it, you can at least create some balance. You at least have the threat of it. Otherwise, you're just going to abandon it, and now it's just going to be a passing game.
Back to pass, it's Reed. Now he's going to break the pocket. Look out, he's got room. Great pickup as they'll keep this drive moving, and they've got it at the 45.
Sometimes the these guys just have eyes in the back of their head. You saw it right there. He was able to buy himself time, get outside the pocket, and at that point, I think the decision was pretty easy. Hey, I can go get this with my feet. He was able to do that. Now they got a fresh set of downs.
Motion from the wide receiver. Out of the gun, the inside give. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
Defense is about firing off, hitting the offensive guys, and staying in your gaps. Everybody knowing where they're supposed to be. You could tell the defense, everyone was right where they're supposed to be, nowhere to run.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Off the play fake. Throws to the wideout. Finds a man on the left. Good job running that route to get past the sticks because he got nothing after the catch.
How nice is it in this offense to have your best receiver playing in the slot? You're matching him up against linebackers, against safeties, or nickel corners. Nickel corners are oftentimes the defense's third best cornerback. This guy is virtually uncoverable.
Texas A&M ready to go with another first down. Tries to do it himself on the draw. There he goes. Gets him down at the 26. Big play there. Give him 15 yards on the gain, and they move the sticks. The Aggies back to the line on first down. Let's see if they keep leaning on this running game. Wants to go up top on first down. Trying to set up the screen. He hauled that one in and got it down to the 15-yard line. That is a time-honored way to slow down the rush, hit him with the screen, and a chunk play.
Yeah, such a great job because you're flying up the field to get to the quarterback because everything looks like pass down the field. Let those guys get up the field, throw it right behind him. He does a little bit of the rest, making some moves, getting upfield, making the big play.
It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. On the move, it's Moss. Touchdown, Texas A&M. Big look finished, but they're all the way back, and they have the lead.
Wow, this offense, they have a lot of faith in this running back. Knowing if they get down in this area of the field, he can get it done and he can answer the bell. 2 rushing touchdowns already for this offense.
And the extra point puts them up by a field goal. They're set to kick it off. You think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. From the gun, running back on the move. And he runs into a wall. Maybe got it back to the line of scrimmage.
Love the job by the defense here with their eye discipline. That's an RPO. It can be tricky to locate the football, but they found the running back quickly. Those linebackers and DBs really came screaming down to the line of scrimmage to make that stop.
Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. The play-action fake. Here's the pressure. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down.
Well, on offense, no doubt, right? You've had success. You're throwing some tutties. Why not keep throwing it? They're going to keep being aggressive. You're going to have to do a better job, though, keeping this quarterback standing up.
Looking for a man. It's Mack. Grabbed in the middle. It's Cuevas. Solid work and execution there. They'll have a first down as they mark it at the 40.
Well, this tight end can run these crossing patterns, and he can catch the ball against man coverage or zone coverage. That time, nice job seeing the ball in, helping his QB out.
The Crimson Tide comes to the line with the 1st and 10. One man in the backfield, and he gets it. Past the first down marker and still running. And he's brought down after a nice game.
Every offense wants to be able to run the ball and be physical, especially on first down. And you want to create second and short, third and short, or just get first downs like that run right there.
The offense sets up shop at the 46 on first down. They'll give it to him again. Breaks into the open. Really good job by everybody there. Well blocked, good run, and a first down.
How nice is it in an offense when you can generate explosive plays by running the football? You got to force feed this guy, man. He is an absolute game changer.
Alabama just did work on the ground. Let's see if they go right back to it. Hand off from the shotgun. They'll give him maybe one on the play. It's down to the 20. Here comes second down, and this crowd is turning it up a notch. To the air. It's Mack. Caught over the middle. It's Williams. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down mark.
When you get man coverage, you definitely like taking advantage of the inside really quickly. Running a nice slant rack real quick, being physical, getting on the inside, quarterback putting it right on the money.
The crowd getting behind this defense as they try to get a stop in the red zone. Out of the gun, the running back has it. Finds his way for a couple, but stops short of the marker. It's 4th and 1.
Yeah, not enough movement up front. You got to be a little bit more physical with this offense, but now it's 4th and 1. Another opportunity. You go for it there, you pick up some yardage. Now you made it a little bit short. Now this offense has really got to get physical.
One quarter to go, and might we have the makings of a classic fourth quarter finish.
21.
Alabama comes out. 4th down play to start the 4th. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Drop the football, and they'll turn it over on downs. Desperately wanted to keep the ball, but they did not.
We're at a juncture of the game now here in the 4th quarter. One possession game. Every critical down and distance is going to matter. And on that 4th down, the defense gets the win. Great job in the back end in coverage, forcing the incompletion and a turnover on downs.
Finding an escape route. Good little pickup there as he saw some daylight and got what he could.
I think he did a really good job, first of all, keeping his eyes downfield. You could see he wanted to throw the football. But when it's not there, don't force it. Tuck it down, get some positive yards.
And the Aggies with myriad options after that big pickup on first down. To the air, it's Reed. Catch in the middle, it's Bussey. There's plenty for the first down, and they stop him at the 28.
Man, that quarterback knew that was a tiny window to throw into, and he just showed off his cannon of an arm.
Offense has it at the 28 on first down. This quarterback part of their running game. Got enough for the first. Turning it on! They've got it to the 49-yard line, and they'll move the chains.
I love when the offensive line takes control, manhandles the defensive line, and that's why you get a big gain.
The Aggies come to the line after ripping off that huge gain on the ground, trying to keep it going. Looking downfield on first down. Moving out of the pocket. Nothing open downfield, so he'll just toss it away.
A nice job by the quarterback there. You're outside the pocket, nobody's open, so you throw the ball away knowing that you still have more chances to get this first down.
Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. Couldn't connect on 1st down, now back to the air. That's caught, it's Bussy. And he won't quite get there, but boy, after that pickup, just a few inches to go for the first, an array of possibilities here. And the Aggies come to the line needing just inches for the 1st down.
And David, on 3rd and inches right there, that's often a decision the quarterback predetermines. Who's my best guard? That's the guy I'm going to try to get to.
And I know that defensively too, but I'm just trying to dive and create a pile, but it's so hard to stop that play. That's why you see it ran so successfully.
Off the play fake on 1st down to throw. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down.
And we need more of this from this defense, man. They have let this guy have too much time to throw the football. They haven't gotten that jersey dirty yet, haven't sacked him, but this is just as good as a sack. Getting to him, hitting him, letting him feel the physicality of this game, and not letting him feel comfortable.
Now inside 4 minutes to go here on 2nd down. The handoff, keep working on that clock. Oh, he's got some space. He's finally stopped, but not before he takes it into the red zone. They'll mark it at the 18.
And this offense continues to have success and just put a long drive together. Now, on this defense, I'm getting desperate now. It's desperation. I got to make a play. I got to force something to happen. I got to change something up, and I got to get this football back to my offense.
They're going to go right back to him on 1st down. Pulled down at the 11-yard line as they inch closer and closer to pay dirt.
And this is a perfect situation. This is a situation, if you asked me to be in before the game, the coaches would have been in heaven. I got the football. I got the lead on their side of the field. Nice gain on 1st down. Same exact script. Do it again. Run the football, run the clock, let that thing tick down. And if we add points, we add points.
Time is on their side, and they're going to wind that play clock all the way down. A designed run for the quarterback. Couldn't quite nudge it in. Not sure you could get much closer, but it'll be 1st and goal.
Man, it's so nice to have a QB that can do that can run and make plays when you need it. Late in the football game, trying to run this clock out, preserve the win. He picks up the big 1st down and keeps the clock moving.
And this defense has to step forward. Not only do they have to get a stop, they've got to do it quickly to keep that time from running down. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Aggies.
And that is a drive and a score they absolutely had to have. Now making it a 2-possession game late in this one. It wasn't going to be enough to just play it safe, play it conservative, punt the ball away, and count on your defense. They were aggressive. They mixed it up, but getting that score, that is huge for their win probability now.
Getting set for the point after. And the extra point extends the lead to double figures at 10. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Looking for a man. It's Mack. Going up top. And it's incomplete. Good play downfield by the DB.
I understand the sense of urgency for the offense now because you're trailing here by a lot in the fourth quarter. And you're just trying to take a shot to see if you can get on the board and get some of this momentum back. But the problem is the defense understands that, so they're playing coverage, and they're doing a good job on the back end. Nice job forcing the incompletion.
That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Looking to throw on first down. Fires to the middle. Clock stops and we've reached the 2-minute timeout. This offense looking for anything to cut into this big lead. Working well behind the sticks on second down. Wants to throw again. Pulls it in. Nice pickup there. Gets him the first down and sets him up at the 45-yard line. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Wants to throw on first down. That one came in hot and it's incomplete.
Got to give this defense a lot of credit because even down to the last seconds of this football game, we're seeing outstanding effort. QB taking a shot down the middle of the field. There's a defender swatting it away. They have had this quarterback's number all game long, and that's why they're winning this game.
And it was worth going for a chunk play, but the long pass is incomplete.
It's been tough for this QB in this one. Very small windows to throw into, and he's been under some duress as well. It's hard to find a rhythm as a QB in those types of situations, and that's why it appears as though his team's going to be leaving here with an out.
He gets it all the way down to the 5-yard line. A terrific catch and run before he stopped. Quarterback may change this route. To the air, it's Mack. It's complete to the left. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Clock is still running, and they have to get everybody lined up. Going for 6. And it's grabbed for the late touchdown. And how about this? It's not over yet.
Well, the good news is you scored a touchdown. You've made this a one-possession game. The bad news is you got to get the ball back. So if you're the head coach, you got to start thinking, how are we going to do that? Are we going onside kick, or do we trust our defense to give it back to the own?
And with the extra point, they draw closer. It's 31-28. Just over a minute to go, and if they have a chance, they've got to come up with this onside kick. He's able to grab the football, and the hands team gets the job done. The Texas A&M offense is back on the field. All right, this game just got tighter, and you just don't want to make a mistake here, David.
Especially in the fourth quarter. Remember, you're still leading this ball game. You're still going to execute the same way, Palmer. Don't get frantic.
Don't get frantic, but I would like to see them stay aggressive, too. You put a touchdown up on the board here, and this goes back to being a two-possession game.
The Aggies have their whole playbook open here on 2nd and inches. Quarterback sneak looking for just a sliver of daylight.
That's good for Fighting Texas Aggies.
Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. So with the late lead, they're ready to just drain the clock in victory formation. And the quarterback will just drop to a knee. Not all close games are created equal, but this one, man, what a ride. A matchup between a couple of ranked teams, and certainly it was a memorable one.
No doubt about it. I think there were a lot of eyeballs watching this game, not just fans of these two teams, but people maybe outside of conference affiliation looking in because this is a ranked matchup. So when you get this win, this is huge in the eyes of the committee with respect to the college football playoff. This win just means more.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, for the college football playoff picture, how big is it to get a big win, a ranked win, who now you're probably going to be matched up head-to-head with who's better, who's going to make the playoff. Big feather in the cap, big day for them.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.